The goal of today's class is to take our discussions from will that we started in our previous lesson and explore the other forms of the future. Now, this video that I shared with you and the other one, they do a good job, and hopefully you get some time to go through all of it. But we will try to go through the rest of our unit's activities today. And those are the review of going to, comparing going to and will, and adverbs of time. As we've done in previous classes, I will be sharing things with you like music, exercises, and lyrics so that you can go through and understand how to use it, and of course, practice on your own. The site we used last class was really good, and it has more of the future tense, tackling this time going to. We won't be diving too deeply into that site, but you can still refer to it as a resource. All of what you need, as we did last time with will, you can also find here with going to. What we will use in today's class is the site we use as our base, so we can look at the different forms of the language, and from there, dive deeper into its uses. Now, what we were practicing at the beginning of this lesson was will. Will does a job of telling us what we think about the future, what we spontaneously are having, our decisions about the future, promises, offers. Those are things that we use will for. And generally, going to tells us about the future in the same predictive way, but a big difference you'll notice is the level of evidence. Now, of course, structure-wise, as you saw in the video, will plus your verb. For going to, it's going to be whatever tense you'll be using. So whatever subject line plus your verb to be. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are, going to. Then we add our verb. So I am going to help you practice today. I'm going to share examples with you. I'm going to assist with your pronunciation. In negative form, of course, we just add the not where we have our helping verb. So I am not, or I am not, etc. For example, in this class, I'm not going to be playing the songs. I will share the songs afterwards, but I'm not going to be playing the songs in class. And if you want to ask a question yourself, you can go with what, when, or whatever question word first, or you go with your helping verb first, making sure that you express the idea clearly. Now, with the use of this structure, you'll notice that we can express with time expressions like we did with other tenses. If we want to talk about things that are eminent, about to would be the most appropriate one. We use just when we spoke in the past, so I just ate, for example. All these little things are helping us to express the time, so we can use this one here. I am about to, and express the time. Now, it could be I'm about to leave, or I'm about to start watching, I'm about to go something. Notice there I'm using I am about with present form, could be simple or continuous, to express something about the future. So when do we use the different types of future? Well, let's look at it together. Uses. Let's start with just the uses. Saud. The uses of will and going to.
Yes, both will and you, no, will and to be going to are used to for expressing the future, but the use of one over the other implies something about the probability of the action occurring in the future. The aspect that difference to be going to with will is in the sentence in sense of planning. In general, to be going to is used for concrete plans when we are quite certain that something is going to happen.
Good. All right, so that's the first consideration. They're both predicting something. Will is very simple. It's predicting or sharing what you think. And the sense of fact is based on what you know and what you promise or what you offer or what you refuse. When it comes to going to, there is intention. There are things that you are backing up with some sort of evidence. So let's compare and contrast. Let's start with Frank. Frank, help us with use number 1. Mrs. Kasaid. Castillo. Are you with us, Frank? And for those who haven't done so, remember to drop your full names and groups in the chat. See, we're about 20 something of us, but I don't see all of the names. So make sure to put your full name and group in the chat. I see Francisco was able to write a couple minutes ago, but we don't hear you, Francisco. Is your mic working? Let's double check what's going on with him. In the meantime, Leo, help us with use number 1.
We use with voluntary action. Will you help me move?
Move.
They in their rooms. She won't work with Paul.
Good. Right. All of these are just, you expressing your voluntary actions, what you're offering, so to speak. Right. Number 2, help us there, Alessandro.
Yeah. Will is used to express a promise. Examples: when I am a president, I will lower taxes. And he promises he will call when he arrives.
Good. Right. Now, of course, we know promises come from a good place, but they're a little different from when we have evidence to back up an idea. When we have evidence, then what we express will usually show that evidence. I think let's go next with Saul. Going to.
Yes, to be going to is used for plans. It indicates the intentions to do something. Example, we are going to have a party tonight. Richard is going to take on English class.
And the last one, question 4.
Are they going to play football later?
Notice there is a sense of the plan. You can tell the intent of these different expressions that they want to do something. Now, of course, you could play around with it. It's talking about the future, so you could choose one or the other. But notice when. Let's go here, Eduardo Rendon.
Yes. Either will or to be going to can be used for making predictions when there is evidence that something is going to happen. We use going to. Examples: it will be a great party. It is going to be a great party.
Scroll down a little bit. Let's go down a little bit more. Now here we're looking at things that we know or we think, but we don't tell you any time, we don't tell you any context. So either one is fine. If I add context to number one, for example, my friends, my best friends, then here we could only use going to, because with my best friends, that's a guarantee. It's going to be a great party. Also, if I add clouds outside and a little drizzle, then we know that's evidence of rain. So then also we would have to use something more intentional, right? So that's how we choose. Now, when we add more details to our future expressions, we tend to go away from the simple will or the simple going to, because now there are details in these moments. And there we start adding phrases that have more present continuous or present simple nature, right? Renata, when do we use present continuous?
The present continuous can be used for actions in the near future or actions that are certain. Examples: Sarah is arriving tonight.
Let me scroll down a little bit so you can see it. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to the doctor this afternoon.
Good. Notice here we know Sarah is planning something and the plan is in execution. It's not just an intention anymore, it is happening. Same thing with the doctor visit. But we don't have all the details, so we just express it in terms of it happening. Now, if we add more details, more specificity, then we can go very present with the idea, talking about it with present simple. Ricardo, number two.
We use the present simple for events scheduled in the future and time labels for the trains, flights, etc.
Etc. All right.
Examples.
Let me scroll down a little more. There you go.
Examples. The party starts at 9 p.m. The train leaves at 10 a.m.
Notice in these two examples, just like we saw before, there's a party or there's transportation. But now we get very specific. If we think about Sarah, who is arriving, if we tell you exactly when, we can express it here. Her plane arrives at 5 a.m. And since we know the timetable of the trains on our metro system, for example, we could say the first train leaves Seoul at 5 a.m. You know, where we have very specific details, we can go to these other forms of the future. So let's practice. Let's see if you are understanding how to use the different forms. Let's start off with some unscrambles. You'll have the words, you just need to make the sentence. For example, will you help me with my project? Right? Just a simple question to get what the person can offer. Renata, last me Sandori. Let's start with number one, unscramble. Bertana Flores, go ahead.
Is I am on work.
I am is a good start, but what comes after the I am in this form is either we're going with the present continuous or going to and the verb. So here would be I am
Going to work. Gym.
All right, work is a verb. What about the time expression? I am going to work after the gym. Now, this would be okay, but I think you'd want to go to work and smell good. So maybe getting sweaty in the gym is not such a good idea. All right, so I would switch the gym there and put work at the end. I'm going to the gym after work. Repeat.
I am going to the gym after work.
Good. So you can do some mental activity and then some physical exercise. Number 2, Yaira.
I will um promise clean my room.
Right? I promise I will. Remember, with the will, we generally use it for promises. So you can preface your expression, I promise, I will.
Okay.
And what's the promise?
I promise I will clean my room later.
Expression. Good. All right. Karina Sanchez, number 3. Are with us, Karina, or is what happened to Karina? Sanchez Azuceno, are you still with us? A lot of people.
Yes, teacher.
All right, help us with number 3.
Are you what?
You have a cold.
Are you what do going?
All right,
Do,
so you're on the right path. You want to express something about another time, not now. And you have some questions. So the first thing that you need when you ask a question is either a question word or a helping verb. In this case, let's start with a question word, which is what, right? And after the what, you can use your auxiliary. What are, who? What are you? What action? What are you going to? And the only other verb here in this sentence is hacer. What are you going to do? When are they talking about? This weekend, right? And that's the structure of your sentence. Try again.
yes, teacher. What are you going to do this weekend?
Right? Expressing your intentions. We don't know if it's going to be a good idea, but at least getting the person's intention will start the conversation. Right? Now, let's continue with Alma, number 4.
A ver, we are going. No. A ver, we
Yes.
are
Yeah.
Skiing going next week.
Close. We are going skiing. Skiing is an activity you do on ice, and you are planned. So we are going skiing next week. All right, again.
We are going skiing next week.
Let's go down to number 5 and let's continue with Jimena Susana Villegas Lozano. Are you there with us, Jimena?
Yes, teacher.
Mhm.
I will call you after work.
Very simple, basic promise, because we know sometimes you say you will do something, you get home and you are too tired. So the person promised, I will call you after work. Just like the idea with the gym, right? Andrea Mora Nieto. Continue.
Yes. It's going to rain.
Mhm. Half of the phrase, it's going to rain. Yeah, and what else?
It's going to rain. Those clouds look dark.
Okay, that's a possible combination of the words. But generally, and I think this happens both in Spanish and English, we do the exclamation first, and then we provide the additional complement. So generally it would be like, ah, mira, mira. Same thing in English. Look at those dark clouds. Well, it's going to rain. All right, practice one more time, Andre.
Yes. Look at those dark clouds. It's going to rain.
All right, let's continue with Alessandra Lisette de Jesus Ruiz. Number 7. Are you with us? Is your microphone working?
Is
But
I will be good this year.
okay, that could be a possible answer. All right, but you're leaving out some of your verbs. Remember we mentioned think is usually a way we express the simple future. So we can start there. I think right? But if we start with I think, then we will go with the promise. So what's the promise if I already use I? This is the only other pronoun we have in the sentence. So I think this year will be a good one. All right, practice with me.
Yes. I think this year will be a good one.
All right. And number 8, Luis Hernandez.
Yes, teacher. He's going take off after no. He's going take off um, o sea que o sea, no, sería como
Sí, dime en español.
ajá, sería como que él va a la universidad antes de volar, ¿no? De despegar.
No, no, un poquito de la universidad sí, pero fíjate lo que está diciendo. Él en esta parte de su vida está pensando de la universidad, pero ¿está en la universidad aún? ¿O va a hacer algo después de la universidad? Sabemos que estamos hablando de él, entonces, he is. Esa es la parte de ser. Y tenemos nuestro going to. Y esa parte sí también es fácil. Pero ¿cuál es el verbo principal? El verbo principal es un verbo frasal. Take off. He is going to take. Pero ¿qué va a tomar? Va a tomar un año. So he's going to take a year off. ¿Cuándo va a tomar esa? Después de la universidad. All right. So he's going to take a year off after university. He's going to do 4 years and get his license in something or his degree in something, and then he's going to stop studying. All right. Most of us, we do our degree, then we go to postgrad diplomas or master's programs. But he is going to take a year off after university. Repeat.
He's going to take a year off after university.
Good. Right? Now you have a good idea. But remember that the future has many forms. So look at your sentences now. Try to identify the form and choose the right form for each sentence. For example, here, we know he has an intention. So for intentions, we use going to. He wants to learn French, so he's going to go to Paris to study. It's not a plan yet. He didn't tell us when he's going to Paris, what university. So in this one, it's about 70% true. This is his intention. What do we see here in number 1? Natalie.
The plane departs at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock. We don't know if it's 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., but we know it's 9 o'clock. Good. Departs because it's just like school, scheduled time. The plane departs at 9. Good. Right, let's continue with Maria Jose Trejo.
Yes, is I promise I study for the exam after the game.
Good. Promise? No, we know it's going to be something simple. I promise I will. Good. Number 3, Evelyn Santos Galindo.
I am not working tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment.
Good. All right. Present continuous because we do have a plan. However, we didn't add more details like a schedule, the timetable for the appointment or something like that. All right. Nayeli, number 4.
Is we are playing football this week. Do you want to use no sé pronunciar lo último.
Us.
Us.
Do you want to join us?
Join us.
Good. All right. Yeah. We are playing football this weekend is good. Here is one of those times where you could choose another one. You could say we are going to play as well, but I like that one more because we have a plan. We are playing or we are going to play. I prefer we are playing. Good. Number 5, Uriel.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Maybe it starts. The
Yeah.
concert starts at 10 p.m.
Exactly, because it has a fixed time.
Yes.
Good. Alba Michelle.
Yes, teacher. I will clean my room after school.
Good. That's what you're promising. We don't know if you will or not, but at least you told us so. All right. And Carla Itzel, number 7.
Yes. Can you go to the party on Saturday?
Indeed. Can would be a wonderful word. Can for 7 and 8 are amazing words. But remember, I want you to practice future phrases. And in this one, you could go with, are you going? Does that person have the intention to attend the party? Right? Again.
Are you going to the party on Saturday?
Okay. Maybe you also have a desire to attend. You want to do it as well. So you're checking your friend. All right. Now here in this one, we don't know of the intentions at all. So I know Francisco's microphone didn't come on earlier. Let's go with Jimena Flores Camacho.
Can you help me with my homework?
Okay. What would be our beginning word? Will. Why will? Because we don't know if the person can. We don't know if the person has the ability to. We don't know if the person has the time to. So we're requesting something. And usually for a request, we're polite and we would use something simple. So will you help me? Would be the most appropriate form. Repeat. Again, Jimena, will you help me with my homework?
Will you help me with my homework?
Good. Now, as I mentioned, this is just a quick difference between what's going on and what you plan to do. In general, the language does that. Will is approaching things from a very simplistic, predictive, without evidence type of thing. Going to is talking about your intentions. And there's even an informal way that you'll probably hear in songs. If you want to dive into the same thing that we're looking at here, but now with some videos and some more examples, I'll share this one so you can practice as well, including the informal future as well. In general, when we think of the future, we're thinking of how probable something will be. What do we know about what's next? So for simple future or predictions, our offers, our promises, we go with will. For our intentions, things we want to do, we go with going to. For our plans with some sort of evidence and clarity, we will go with the present continuous. I'm doing this, yes or yes, like we would say in Spanish. Now, if the plan exists and we have time scheduled in our timetables, agendas, whatever, then we use the present simple. So to break it down in terms of percentages, will would be, no plan, spontaneous. Going to would be your intentions, possibilities. Plans, you just go for what you are doing, 90%. And if you are sure, if it has some time stamp that's very specific, you can use present simple. And you can toggle around with them. Now notice that in each of our sentences, some of them will have what we call time expressions, later or tomorrow. The goal of those is to help us with the time. More specifically, as you saw in the unit, we want to be able to practice adverbial phrases that help us with the time. So tomorrow is a good word. We can modify tomorrow, and there's some examples here, like tomorrow morning. Weekend is also a good future word. You could modify it a little bit with this weekend. That use of adverbs and prepositions to create these phrases are the things we want you guys to practice here. All right. So as the last thing we'll do today before I wrap up, let's look at some adverbs of time. Like next week, next month, in 2023, or in December, on Monday, which we know is in the future, or on Tuesday when your evaluation is due, in a particular range. So for example, in the next 6 weeks, because we know the year has only a few more weeks to go. All of those would be expressing the future. All right. So to finish, Vanessa and Andrea Estefania, let's quickly practice now focusing on the time expression. So Vanessa Ramos, you will be A, and Andrea Estefania Sanchez Guevara, you will be B. Vanessa, begin. And if you haven't done so already, guys, remember.
Will the train arrive soon?
Good.
Yes, it will. I'll arrive today.
If you say it will arrive today, then all of your responses have to follow this line. It will arrive today. Vanessa, continue.
Will it be crowded?
Mhm.
I'm not sure. It might be crowded.
Crowded.
Oh, your train is here. Will you call me tonight?
In the morning.
No, in the morning. Yes, I will. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you tonight.
All right. Now, you could also go here with 15 minutes. It will arrive in 15 minutes. Will you call me today? I'll see you. But notice, last weekend wouldn't work. In 15 minutes is possible. It'll arrive. The train will arrive in 15 minutes. Will you call me tomorrow? And have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. This is also very appropriate. So make sure that when you're choosing that the whole phrase sounds good. Connect the ideas together. All right. So if you haven't done so, guys, jump on your portal, practice, updating your folders. And this weekend is the last weekend before your evaluation is due. It is due on the 14th, which is Tuesday. So try to get everything done and do your best in the evaluatory activity. Remember, you've been practicing all 4 skills in each unit and uploading those to your folders. So in the exam, focus on the activities that have the instant answers. No need to write essays or upload recordings in the exams, all right? Do the other activities and you'll get an instant reply. And yes, the exams, even though they won't have the scores for those bottom pieces, it will give you an automatic score. All right, so get busy. All the best in your evaluation and see you soon.